No one expected the Mets to do this. New York finally went down to Atlanta and did their job in a series against the Braves with history made from some of the young guys, but the team pulled a typical move to end off the set, which is exactly what we're talking about only here on Mets Digest. I'm your host today, Mike Duda, and before we discuss how the Amazons fared in the Peach State, we got to talk about some subscribers, and that being the fact that 69% of you that watch these videos aren't one. So please do me a favor, do us a favor here on Mets Digest, and hit that free subscribe button. That way we can bring content to you about the Amazons. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. Kicking it off with how the Mets fared on Friday night. It was a great game, 21 hits, 12 runs, and a great job by a starting pitcher not named David Peterson. Finally, Nolan McLean, another great game, his second ever game in the bigs, following a great MLB debut of 5 1/3 scoreless. His one problem that he was talking about, he had 4 walks that day, said I needed to control myself better in terms of my pitches. I needed to throw more strikes. And what does he do on Friday night? No walks and just 1 hit batsman. Again, 12 runs, 21 hits, over 20 hits and over 10 runs. So you may be wondering, why was this game so close? They were up 12-2 after 7.5 innings. How was this game so close? Well, it was simply because of the back end of the bullpen. They imploded once again, in addition to Ryan Stanek and Frankie Montas, who have not been good this year, amidst many other guys who have come up and down from AAA and have not done well for the Amazons. Reed Garrett and Ryan Helsley continue to struggle. 8 earned runs over 9 innings for Reed Garrett here in the month of August, over 8 appearances. He is actually now hurt. Video coming on that tomorrow, amidst many updates, including a Frankie Montas injury. But 3 home runs allowed so far in the month of August for Garrett. 5 of the 8 earned runs have come against the Braves. The other set of runs, that being 3, were back on the 13th of August, of course, against the Braves. As for Ryan Helsley, again, he struggles. Just 1 inning of 3 earned runs given up. So far in a Met uniform, he has 9 games pitched. He has finished 3 of them, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 12 hits, 12 runs, 8 of them earned, 1 home run, 5 walks, 9 strikeouts, a 2.32 whip, 9.82 ERA, 14.7 hits per 9, 1.2 home runs per 9, 6.1 walks per 9, and a 1.8 strikeout to walk rate, negative 1.1 WAR as an Amazon. The back end of this bullpen has not been good. It's really been the Gregory Soto and Edwin Diaz show. A little bit of Tyler Rogers, but other than that, it has not been promising for the Met bullpen. But of course, let's focus on the positives because the Mets did win this game 12-7, and it was almost a blowout. It is the first time in 62 games that a second starting pitcher went 6 innings. Again, we'll discuss this in a later video to come and later today, but this was absolutely incredible. Finally, someone not named David Peterson goes 7, and of course, it's the rookie. It's the rookie phenom in Nolan McLean. Additionally, the Mets' hitting was great. You look at Brett Baty. For the first time in his MLB career, he has a game with 4 hits. Everyone in the starting lineup had a hit. The only guy that went hitless was Ronnie Mauricio off the bench, 0 for 1 in a pinch-hitting spot. But overall, good win for the Mets on Friday night, and they backed that up with another victory, a statement win on Saturday to take the series, and then they would take the brooms out on Sunday. Would they sweep? Stay tuned for that. But look at that. Clay Holmes, 6 1/3 innings. Look at that. Is that back-to-back nights of starting pitchers going 6 innings or more? I never thought I would see that as a New York Met fan. Absolutely incredible. You did, in fact, read that correctly. Finally, Clay Holmes goes 6 innings plus. Someone not named David Peterson, like I was saying. Now, bottom of the third, 1 out. Runners on the corners, first and third. Mets are leading 3-0. Jurickson Profar hits a liner to Starling Marte out there in left field, who makes the perfect catch. As you can tell here, the double play was turned by Starling Marte, and it was incredible. 90 miles an hour on the gun, out at the plate for Nacho Alvarez Jr. The Mets bullpen also did their job, going back to Soto, Rogers, and Diaz, your 3 most trustworthy relievers. So 2 really good wins to begin the series in Atlanta, but things would quickly take a turn, as right now the Mets are down 3-0 in the top of the 4th as I'm filming this, and they did not win the last game of the series. A typical brutal loss for the Mets. Now, Let's look at the offense for just a second before we get into that loss. Why not hit 6 home runs on Saturday night? Jeff McNeil, Swaggy V, Mark Vientos both had 2, including back-to-back in the 9th inning, McNeil and then Vientos. In fact, for Vientos, it was his first home run of the night, and that came the at-bat before in the 7th. Another back-to-back, this time with Pete Alonso. And yes, he did it. He hit 3 consecutive home runs in 3 consecutive at-bats, the 19th time a New York Met has done so. The last player to do it, Mark Vientos himself. That was back on June 23rd of 2024, an 8th inning home run, 451 feet in a 5-2 win over the Chicago Cubs. And then again on the 25th of June against the Yankees in the 2nd and 4th, that being 3 consecutive at-bats where you homer in each of them. Now, that's not too common. That means Vientos, David Wright, and Gary Carter are the only 3 players in Mets history to accomplish 3 consecutive at-bats of home runs. Nice company on 2 separate occasions, I might add. That is some really, really solid company. And Vientos finished the series really, really well. 5 of 13, a double, 3 homers, of course, and 5 RBIs. But in the Sunday game, the rest of the offense did indeed struggle. 10 left on base, just 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position, a 111 average. No 2-out RBIs. That is a big thing, especially when you look here and you look at the blowout win, so to speak, the 12-7 win. You see a bunch of 2-out RBIs, and the Mets just simply did not do that on Sunday. In fact, the rest of the series, there was 10 total out of the 21 runs scored, accounting for 47.6% of runs, and they simply did not do so. The bats were not alive, and I kind of knew that this game was over when the pitching wasn't there from David Peterson. He didn't get the loss, but he couldn't go 6 innings. In fact, he has gone 6 innings in 16 of his 25 starts. That is 64% of the time, and he's done so 7 out of the last 8 starts leading up to this game. So Peterson was not fully on his A game, ends up going 5 2/3, allowing 2 earned runs. Gregory Soto, in fact, does that as well. He gives up some earned runs. So not a great game overall from the Amazing. Soto gets the loss. First 2 earned runs given up from Soto in a Met uniform, although I believe that they should be unearned because there was a play with Brett Beatty that I think should have been ruled an error. However, it was not. It was ruled a hit, so Soto gives up his first 2 earned runs as a Met. Just a very, very bad loss overall and a typical draining loss for the Amazons. In fact, yeah, I was right. Look at this. Gregory Soto giving up those runs that should not have been earned, in my opinion. However, I was right in saying originally when I was watching the game that David Peterson not going 6 innings would mean that the Mets lose the ball game. And that's exactly what happened. Raley came in. He gave up the 2 runs, that being Brooks Raley, in that 6th inning. It was 2-2, and then, of course, everything happens in the 8th with Gregory Soto, and the Mets do not pull away with the victory. But overall, not a bad series in Atlanta. 2 really good statement victories, in my opinion, even though the Braves aren't that great overall. It's still the Braves, and the Mets really, really struggle to beat the Braves. So I call that a statement win for the Amazons for the Friday night and Saturday night game. However, they did indeed struggle on Sunday, and right now they are struggling against the Phillies, again, down 3-0. So go down there in the comment section and let me know what you think. Do you think the Mets are going to turn it around here tonight in their game against the Phillies? Go ahead and check out Adam's video if you haven't already. He did a series preview, an important one, as the division is probably at stake in this set against the Phils. So let me know if you think that they're going to win. Maybe they're going to split the series. They're going to sweep. What do you think that they are going to do? Let me know down below in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this Atlanta series and the fact that they really struggled. The Mets just simply struggled in that Sunday game, although they had 2 nice wins on Friday and Saturday. Finally, some starting pitchers going 6 innings. So give me all your thoughts. Give me all your opinions down below. Let me know your reasonings. But unfortunately, that's all the time I have for you in today's video. Thank you so much as always for watching, and let's go Mets.